You're watching Blue Collar Garage Culture Shop. This is Blue Collar Garage Culture Shop. We're bringing you to see some of the coolest shops, garages, and locations in central Alberta. Old school hot rodders, new school hot rodders, fabrication shops, you name it. Let's roll. Oh, little kitten.
Yeah, you want? Were we taking some home?
Yeah.
Well, we can.
Yeah, my wife said you guys aren't allowed to leave unless you take a few kittens.
Oh. You want to start with this cool
Gas pump?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad and I picked this up out of Balzac. So my dad worked out that way, and every day he drove by, saw it out in the field. So one Saturday we stopped in and asked the farmer, what are you going to do with that thing? And he says, if you guys can throw it in the back of your truck, you can have it. So that's what we did. We backed the truck up. It cost me 2 flat tires. And got her home. And my parents, they moved back to Ontario. So I said, Dad, you're not taking it. I'm keeping it. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I think it's dated 1953.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I'm pretty happy with it. I thought of maybe restoring it, but I kind of like the patina.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of character.
Yeah. So you're Old Iron Customs?
Oh yes. So I'm Steve Ottens, the owner of Old Iron Customs. So we do customs, hot rods, classics, and anything in between.
Right. Yeah.
So that mild to wild. I kind of stick with the 50s, 60s style era. That's what I like the best, but I'll do anything, right? Up to the challenge. So.
And then you've got a couple of your rides here?
Yeah, a couple of my own here. So we've already done a thing on the gasser, which is awesome.
Yep.
And
the Cruise Culture sticker on there now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sticker on there, you betcha. Didn't show up as much as I thought it would, but it's a subtle. And so then my 26 Model T Coupe. I got a louver press over here. Kind of cool, picked it up from the old fella Ron Howry that taught me upholstery.
Yeah.
It's a 3-inch old school traditional hot rod custom louver. Like it's got a nice rounded shape to it.
Right.
So it, it's cool. I don't do a lot of hoods or trunk lids, but you know, a few a year.
Yeah.
But it's a nice tool to have, right?
That's cool.
So totally cool. Big Bertha.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, you don't see them around.
It's impressive. Like it's neat. I'll just show you what the louvers look like.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, he's got a bunch of.
These are just layouts. A little dusty, but I don't know if you can kind of see there. So there's a lot of louver presses now where I call them more mechanical looking, right? They just have a radius edge. They go straight across and then radius down. This is like the old style.
Yeah, more traditional.
Yeah. So pretty happy with it. So it was nice to be able to buy it off of him, and he finally caved into selling it to me after bugging him for 3-4 years. So
looks like it weighs a good ton too.
A few other tools. I don't use much as far as with the upholstery, right? They're more my own personal tools.
Right. Yeah, you've got a wheel there and
I got
brake
the
here.
Bead roller, the press, the brake, the shear. English wheel. But that's more personal. So I don't get into tools, any of that kind of stuff. So nor do I want to.
Yeah.
So other than that,
let's go take a look at your sewing machine here and your little setup.
Yeah. I don't have anything to be sewing, but just cleaned up. My main tool, my sewing machine. Got lucky when I went on my own. Found a lady out in Edmonton. She had it for sale, and I couldn't get down there for 2 weeks, and it was still for sale. I lucked out, right? I picked it up for a good price.
Yeah.
A machine like that would easily cost me $5,000. Right?
Yeah.
So I picked it up for a good price, and and it was the price she was asking, so I didn't even dick her because it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been great. I think it's a machine from the 50s.
Right.
Like it's been around, but they last forever, right?
That's cool. Yeah.
But, not made in China.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
You got like a throttle linkage and stuff you've rigged up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so this is my go pedal, and this is my to raise up the foot on the machine,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's cool. So yeah, that's my main tool other than scissors, right?
Yeah.
So
Which, I mean, you don't see scissors like these very often either. These shears here.
oh, this here, I don't even know where it's made, where it came from. A friend of mine was at an auction, again, friends, right?
Yeah.
And this was in a box that he bid on.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was like, well, Steve probably likes these. So yeah, there have been saving for my hand. A lot of upholsterers, they lose all their nerves in here.
Totally, yeah.
And because of how that's shaped, like.
And I mean, like, these are, like, you take, it looks like you take the blades off and replace them or sharpen them or whatever. That's,
yeah, I've been trying, I've done a search on the internet to see if I can find, like, where it came from. I can't find a thing, right?
Yeah.
But that,
maybe
I
somebody
lucked out with that.
YouTube land will know.
So, yeah. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
We can venture upstairs if you want to see the mezzanine.
Tell us about the saddle, because I do see on your page and stuff you do quite a few of these.
Before I got into upholstery, I was doing saddles. So I did saddles part-time. I had a small saddle shop in Strathmore, Otten Saddle and Leather. And then I started doing the upholstery and realized the upholstery had more financially well-off clients.
Right, yeah.
So I slowly transitioned into the upholstery, and this has been a hobby. So I sold my last saddle years ago, and I thought, you know what? I want another one. So yeah, that's cool. Just a hobby now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I see them on your Facebook page there.
So it's kind of cool. So when I moved here 2 years ago. I wanted a mezzanine so I could have just kind of a hangout place for the guys when they come over. We do garage nights through the winter quite often, and I thought, you know what? So many guys, their garages are just packed and you can't do anything. So I thought, this is a perfect place for guys to come over. We can hang out, and got a bit of a bar, which, you know, every shop needs.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, and I thought it's a perfect place to put some of the pictures and whatnot that we have.
Yeah, so you were telling me about some of these last time. We should go over those again.
Yeah, what was I talking about? Like this one here.
Yeah.
My landlord, actually, when I rented a shop in Strathmore, he had this picture up on his wall, and when he closed his shop down, he asked if I wanted it, and it was like, yeah, totally. Like, I don't know where the picture's from.
Yeah.
I noticed there's a mountain in the background, so obviously it's somewhere where there's mountains.
Yeah.
But it's just got so much cool history.
It does.
You know, looking at the cars, I'm thinking just into the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's cool, all the signs and stuff, yeah.
And other ones just from garage sales and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think you were talking about this World of Wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Too, last time.
So the fellow that taught me upholstery, Ron Howry, this is his truck. So it's a 46 Chevy truck. We did a lot of work together on it. It was chopped, channeled, and sectioned. So to put it in a radical custom, like that's as far as you can go pretty much. So it was a full one of truck. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Went to World of Wheels that year and did really well with it. And yeah, so it was pretty cool being involved in that build. So it was, you know, all his idea. The truck, I just helped him out. I was working with him, so he's like, "Hey, if you're not busy, get on the truck, get her done." So yeah, it was cool. It was a neat experience building something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's cool.
A nice keepsake, right?
Yeah.
So cool helmet. The guy, he didn't sign it. I wish he did.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, dirty. Polish it up here a bit. Uncle D.
Oh yeah.
is his name. He does pinstriping and graphics and all that stuff, but I just thought that was a pretty cool piece.
Yeah.
So, and he is out of Manitoba, I
Okay.
believe.
Those pinstripers are getting harder and harder to find.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So that was
not very
neat.
many young people getting into it. Is the problem.
No,
Yeah.
he was in town. A buddy of mine owns like a bike shop, and he was in town doing some pinstriping, and he had a little bit of spare time, and so it's like, hey, I got a helmet. Would
Yeah.
you pinstripe it for me? So he's like, yeah, sure.
Goes good with the steering wheel and
Yeah.
the car there. Yeah.
So yeah, that would go great.
Yeah.
Be perfect. So yeah, it's kind of neat. The old,
Is there a story behind that guitar at all, or?
yeah, it's my nephew Travis. That was his first guitar. He's kind of a self-taught guitarist.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, you know, that was, I think, just your cheap Walmart brand, we'll call it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, when he got his newer guitar, that kind of just sat around. So I took it and I thought that's perfect garage art, right?
Yeah.
So hung it up, a little bit of memory behind it. So yeah, that's kind of cool. The Beach Boys little Deuce Coupe, like can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's a cool custom hot rod,
Yeah.
like totally awesome.
Very cool. And then the bar.
Yeah, the bar, yeah. Nice to have.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen this one.
Don't tap into it too much.
Yeah. Oh, blues
But some of the
Brothers.
bottles are cool, right?
Yeah, they
Like,
are,
That's my big thing. I like bottles, and if they're a really neat bottle, I'll use it as an overflow for my
Yes.
rad, right?
Yeah.
So some of them have some nice lettering on them, and
That's cool.
yeah.
An old chopper style.
Yeah.
Bicycle back there. Yeah.
Found that at the dump in Strathmore. So it's I think it's a Jesse James.
Oh yeah.
So when my son was younger, it's like, oh, I picked it up and had to do a few things. It was missing a few parts, so that's
Yeah.
kind of cool, right? I enjoyed doing that.
And then these couch set.
Yeah, this got from a friend of mine. He was doing some bobcat work here, and we were talking, and he's like, you know, I got a perfect couch and chair for you, Steve. He says, it's not my style. So I said, well, what do you got? And I think they call these like mid-century furniture because
Right.
it's kind of that 50s.
Yep. They're
So-
comfy.
Like, you can have it.
Still remember sitting on the couch while we were having
Yeah.
our interview last time.
So they're pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So that was his donation. Mike Shepard is his name. So yeah.
That's cool.
And a coffee table as well. Another older friend.
Oh, so you didn't go to the side of the road and steal
Yeah.
this side?
Yeah, we don't know where it came from, all right?
Yeah.
But Bob Riley, he was here one day and he says, I got something perfect for up in your mezzanine there. So
Yeah.
stop by one day with it. I'm like, that's awesome, right?
That's cool.
So yeah, pretty cool.
And then Ed Roth. Ed
Yeah,
Roth
that's
book.
a pretty cool book.
Yeah, some how to chop chops. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. I got to give that back to Ron. He's here. So
Oh, yeah.
good reminder before
Yeah.
before he leaves. So yeah, the shop. Lots of little pieces. I'd hate to be the poor bugger who has to sort it all out if I ever
Yeah.
wasn't able to, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. 28 Model A Ford. Did the interior on this car. Also did the roof
Right.
for it. A lot of work. Did it actually over at Ron's place. There's a Lando foam that went down first, and then we block sanded it to get rid of all the humps and bumps. We're both
Yeah.
covered in foam. And then this is actually an awning material.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't want to put a vinyl on it because it kind of looked cheesy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we wanted one full piece. A lot of them you'll see a seam. They'll follow this body seam here. But we didn't want any seam on it, so found this awning material, waterproof, laid it on. It was tough because there's no stretch to it, right? So
Right.
with the compound curves, it was...
So it's an awning material, so it is like water.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I touched it and I was like, oh, do you drive that in the rain?
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Well, and there's like 3 coats of glue on both surfaces, so it ain't getting
Yeah,
through. So
No, that
yeah,
looks
it
good.
gives it a nice, I think, a classier look than a shiny vinyl.
Something totally different too, because you can
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like a convertible top, like the newer convertible tops
Yeah.
almost. It's almost like that kind of a material. So
Right.
So and then on the inside we did like just a nice old school tuck and roll interior.
Yeah.
Yeah. No back seat. So it's just a gas tank back there. So we just kind of blended it so it kind of the tuck and roll all followed into the back. Oh yeah, you got to look at the headliner.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's nice.
Not something you normally see.
I like the mirror too. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's yeah, it was a fun car to do.
Yeah, and then the carpet too. You did that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So the full deal. It was a little interesting figuring out how I wanted to finish the vinyl coming up to the headliner, right? So
yeah.
But it all worked out really well.
Yeah, and then if you want to come tell us, you know, what year the car is and what you got for a motor and stuff.
Well, it's actually 29. There's no difference between 28 29. Originally, the first body I was playing with was a 28, but this one's 29. So, and yeah, it's just fabbed up a chassis and put 4-bar suspension on, which isn't really traditional, but boy, it rides nice.
Oh yeah.
And then it's got turbo 400 automatic, and it's just a 30 over small block Chev 350.
Yeah.
671 blower.
671.
Forged crank, forged rods, forged pistons, and yeah, I don't know what else to tell you.
Gotta tell them about the chop, Ron.
Oh yeah. Well, my uncle gave me this body when I was about 14 years old, and it sat on his farm upside down.
Okay.
So the roof was just rotten, but the bottom was really nice.
Oh yeah.
So it was chopped 2.5 inches. So when we chopped it, I found another one sitting in a slough with a good top, cut it off and put that top on this one.
Oh, nice.
And then I've always liked sedan deliveries, so I filled the rear side windows in. And it's not a real sedan delivery, but
yeah, looks good though.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's funny. That's cool.
So and then what he did when he had the two bad vehicles, just for kicks and giggles, he put the roof on the other one, so it was extra tall.
2.5 inches taller.
Yeah. Oh, that was pretty funny.
That's funny. That is
Instead
funny.
of a tall T, it was a tall A.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's a 64, so Chevy tilt cap. Picked it up strictly for the engine that was in it. It's 348, so the W block.
Yeah, and I think you were telling me last time because you want to put it in
there. Yeah. So that's going to be going into the Model T. So it's for sale if anybody wants it.
Oh, there you go.
It's a roller.
Yeah.
I just put the front tire back on, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we might have to forget about the Fargo. This might be cooler.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys making like deck trucks and lowering these things now, and they're just like, my original plan, I thought of making like an old school slant ramp truck, but I'm like, I got no time, and that would cost quite a bit to make it right. So I thought it'd be cool to throw the gas around, but I'm like, who am I kidding? I ain't gonna get to that. I had someone interested. I said $500, right?
Yeah.
So
the problem is, what do you get?
Probably get that for scrap, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Model A, I'm not sure the exact year. It was the front half of a 4-door. A friend of mine had brought it over, so I turned it into a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Just thought it would make some great yard art. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I didn't notice it still had the block in there.
Yeah, it's cool. I get a serial number off that engine.
Yeah.
Good for a frame.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
70 Chevy C10 here. Built this, I think it's 4 years ago now.
Okay.
We, a friend of mine, Jason, he wanted an interior done in a truck he had, and he had a whole bunch of these trucks sitting in parts, and I've always kind of liked them. So he's like, well, why don't we make a trade? We build a truck for you, and you do upholstery work for me. So one winter, The two of us threw it together, and yeah, just I think there's 4 trucks in it. Like we took a chassis from one. My friend down the highway there south of Strathmore, we got the cab and front fenders off of him because it already had the cab corners done.
Yeah.
So, but a box was from something else, and yeah, it was just Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Right.
What did you? What are you running for a motor in it?
So what's that?
What are you running for a motor?
I got a Vortec block in it. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So did that. Put the 700R transmission in, so it's got overdrive. So it's nice. It's nice to drive down the road. The coil spring rear suspension in these, like, they drive like cars.
Yeah.
You can't load anything in it, right?
Yeah.
It just sags, but it's perfect for the shop as a shop truck. So unfortunately, I don't have an interior in it. So I threw a big chunk of leather over the seat. I put a newer seat in it.
Yeah.
So it sits a little more comfortable, but yeah, that's
Just
as
like
far as
mechanic
it got.
works on
I
your
did
own
do
stuff,
the
yeah.
door and the steering wheel. So that's about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna do like a distressed kind of old dog thing for a drive.
Yeah.
Hey?
Oh, yeah. That's good.
So that was kind of what I was gonna do on the seat
Yeah.
and stuff, and then put a new carpet in it and whatnot. But I drive it all the time,
Yeah.
so I can't be without it. I was gonna look for another seat that was the same, and then do it, and then swap it. But I'm to the point now. It's like I don't care,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's my shop truck.
Yeah, you just drive it and use it. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I drive it year round. Some people are like, oh, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
I can't take it with me, so I might as well enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
She looks old, but she's got a lot of new stuff in it, right?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you having us out, and
Hey, love it.
it was a good
Anytime,
time
man.
taking us a tour for the shop and showing
nice
us some of
getting
your
to know
tools.
you, and
Yeah.
yeah. Someday I'll see you around at some car shows. Or
Yeah, definitely. You're watching Blue Collar Garage Culture Shop. Blue Collar Garage was founded with the simple idea to bring easy, affordable space to the people, with all-in economic pricing that offers simplicity and confidence. Zero risk, easy in, easy out, 30-day notice guarantee means no lengthy contracts, and reliable space with 24/7, 365 access when you need it and secure while you're away. Blue Collar Garage is proudly Canadian and uniquely Albertan, with locations in Red Deer County, Airdrie, and Lacombe. Visit bluecollargarage.com or call Cole at 403-318-5496 to get started. Let's roll.
I'm Phil Harpel, and this is my my shop, Harpell Auto Fab. We specialize in aluminum TIG welding, aluminum fabrication. So we do a lot of like ice tanks, reservoirs, and engine bay dress-up pieces.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, so you leased this space from Blue Collar Garage?
Blue collar, yeah.
Yeah. Good guys.
Nice space, yeah. It
Yeah.
was awesome when I heard that they were putting a spot up here in Airdrie, and went and looked at their location in Red Deer,
Yeah.
checked it out, and then I was sold as soon as I.
Yeah, they're nice space, good spaces. For
They
sure.
are, yeah.
Cool. So let's leave the car till last.
Okay,
Because it
yeah.
looks pretty special. But let's just walk around and tell us about your different bits of equipment and stuff and what you do.
So this is where I do most of my CAD drawing. So the process of building parts, you start out with usually a cardboard cutout, some measurements, come to the laptop here and do some CAD drawing. So this is where I do all my CAD work.
Yeah.
So this is actually, this is a couple tanks that we did for a new Edge Mustang, same style as this one.
Yeah.
And they're trunk tanks.
Okay.
And they were mirrored to each other in the trunk. It was like a tube chassis car, right?
Right.
Like the 2-in-1 tank that's on my car. This is like the first tank that I ever drew in Fusion.
Yeah.
So it took me forever to figure it out. But I got the hang of it now. Like you just watch YouTube videos and kind of learn how to do it,
Yeah,
right?
that's cool. So you didn't go to school for it then?
No, I didn't. No, I bought the CNC rotor.
Yeah.
And I was kind of forced to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
And the CAD program that comes with, you can't do this kind of stuff on.
Right.
So I got Fusion, started to learn how to use it, and then just kept playing with it until I got efficient with it. And even still, like I'll draw something, and then I'll make a mistake and then I have to start over.
Right.
So I'm still not like the best at it, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks good. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a good setup too.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually draw all my stuff on here first.
Right.
You can draw everything in 3D here first,
Yeah.
and then you can create your flat pattern,
Yeah.
and then make your tool paths, load it into the CNC, and it just cuts it out.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it gives you all your lines for your bend marks too.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet too.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where everything starts, and then we can go over to the CNC if you want to check it out. This is a Carbide 3D Shape Auto CNC.
Okay.
And it uses a end mill,
Yeah.
like that you would use on like a milling machine.
Right.
It takes 3 passes to cut through 0.100 thick, so almost 1/8 of an inch thick. But what I like about it is it leaves a machined finish on the material,
Oh, okay.
which makes it really nice for welding.
Yeah.
And you would think like this is a small machine, it probably wouldn't be good for doing like a lot of cutting.
Yeah.
But man, I've cut so much stuff on this. Like
Yeah.
I usually take anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds of scrap out of here a month.
Yeah.
And I've cut over 100 of the 2-in-1 tanks on this now. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look like really clean
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love it. They actually offer a bigger one now.
Yeah.
It's 4 feet by 4 feet. So I might upgrade to that one.
Yeah.
You can cut a couple tanks at a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the welding I do over here, I got a couple welding machines that I use. This is my HTP Invertig. This machine's awesome. They're out of the States.
Okay.
Yeah. But their slogan is crank a Miller, drive a Lincoln, but weld with an HTP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, this is the machine I use the most, and then I got this Everlast as a spare, which is also a really good machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been TIG welding for?
I've been a welder for 20 years.
Okay. Yeah.
And I did a lot of structural welding, and then I get into the pipe welding side of things. So I did a lot of B pressure welding
Yeah.
and pipe fitting, and a lot of TIG welding with the pipe, right?
Right.
So that's when I first got into TIG welding. I also did a lot of food grade equipment back in the day, stainless steel,
Right.
and learned a lot about TIG then. But when I first started TIG welding aluminum, absolutely horrible at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a humbling experience. Yeah. But now I've been TIG welding aluminum for about 6 years.
Okay.
And now I'm finally getting to the point where it's like every bead I put down, I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But it was a learning curve for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So then this is where you do all the
Yeah,
welding and
I got this little
putting it
fixture table that's pretty handy for doing tanks and stuff like that. It tilts.
Okay,
So it's nice for welding out those 2-in-1 tanks. You can kind of position it wherever you want.
Right.
And then I got a little bigger table there for doing larger tanks
Right.
or any larger parts. But yeah, I mean, some of these bigger fixture tables you can get are like huge money, and everything I have in this shop was kind of purchased with size constraints in mind when I was in my house.
Yeah.
So, because I started my business out of my house,
Yeah.
and I did it there for 3 years, and I had my car on one side, and then my workspace was on the other side in a 19 by 19 garage. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I still keep my offices at home, and I keep all my inventory at home.
Yeah.
So I do all the shipping from home and stuff like that too.
Right.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
So do you have any like power constraints or anything like that when you moved in here, or was it all just set up right?
Yeah,
for you?
actually, Blue Collar was great about that. They set up all the 220 plugs that I wanted, and they added some extra 110.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, it was good that they did that.
So, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's clean.
Yeah.
Right in here.
Yeah, and then they had to get the HVAC unit put in too,
Yeah.
but that was all taken care of by those guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, they're on the ball with that stuff for sure.
stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Other than that, I got my metal brakes over here. This is a Bailey magnetic brake.
Yeah.
This thing is really good for thinner sheet metal. So, like these rad covers,
Yeah.
I form on this brake,
Yeah.
and it's magnetic, right?
Oh, okay.
So clamps down with the foot pedal, and then as soon as you pull this up, it clamps even tighter.
Great.
They say 6 tons of downforce
Oh, wow.
on this thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's claimed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it works pretty good.
That's cool.
It's a good brake.
So you put stuff like this together in there.
Yeah, yeah. And then my tanks I form on the heavier box and pan brake
Oh, okay.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the box and pan is this one. That's also a Bailey brake. This thing's a beast for what it is.
Yeah.
All my tanks on this, and then some of the harder bends, like if you have a really sharp radius, this thing will do it. So cool. Then we keep all our billet parts here.
Nice.
I got a machine shop that I deal with in Calgary.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'll give him a shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
Colecraft Machinery.
Colecraft.
Yeah, he does Colecraft machining. He does awesome work. Like he does all my billet caps and stuff like that. Trevor, he's awesome.
Cool.
And yeah, he'll do everything to my spec. Like I can say, hey, I want this long, and you know, to a certain spec, and he'll draw it up. And he's really talented in CAD, like way beyond my skills for sure. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean.
Cool. Yeah, let's take a look at your some of your products.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we'll start with this. So this is a door sill.
Yeah.
So this goes right inside the door on like a kick plate kind of thing.
Right.
There's a plastic piece from the factory.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've been trying to do with this car. Like they come with so many plastic parts that it's just, it's overwhelming, right? So to have some nice aluminum parts that are powder coated, and another company that I work with, Black Box Customs.
Black Box Customs.
Yeah, they're in Calgary. They do all my powder coating and all the laser work.
Okay.
So this in particular, this is laser etched.
Yeah.
And then we call this the laser engraved. So
okay. Yeah.
basically the laser on this one just comes in and kind of etches the powder coat.
Right.
And then
this takes it right
it
off.
goes right through. Yeah. So they're professionals with that kind of stuff, and they do beautiful work.
Yeah. So tell us about your tanks.
Yeah, so this is the 2-in-1 tank.
Yep.
This is specifically for the 0304 Cobra. So from the factory, they have two plastic tanks. So you got your expansion tank for the engine coolant on this side, and then you have your intercooler tank on this side, and they're both plastic. So this is a nice aluminum. It's a 2-in-1 tank, so it looks like one tank, but it's two tanks, right?
Yeah.
So if you look on the bottom there,
Yeah.
there's two walls in there, right?
Right.
And I actually just did some testing on these, and there's some people were concerned about the engine coolant heat soaking the intercooler coolant.
Yeah.
But because that wall is there, the heat from this tank doesn't transfer to this tank.
Nice.
And there's like a 70-degree difference between the two tanks at operating temperature.
Oh, good.
So I just did some tests on that here last week, and I think people were pretty happy to see that.
To hear that,
yeah. So this is like this is what's keeping me busy right now. Is these tanks. I'm building a lot of these. Yeah. I love building them. We also put a sight glass in them on the expansion side.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this is a pressurized tank.
Yeah.
So you can't take this cap off when it's at operating temperature, otherwise it'll shoot coolant out. This one you can because it's not a pressurized tank.
Right.
So it's nice to have this so you can actually see your coolant levels without taking the cap off.
Yeah, that's cool. And then what are some of these other ones you've got here?
This one here is a power steering reservoir.
Yeah.
So again, plastic from the factory. So this is just a dress-up piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. It obviously you don't have to worry about it cracking or anything like that too. The plastic ones are prone to cracking. So
coloring and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is a brake res cover.
Right.
From the factory, it's a plastic tank.
Yeah.
And it covers over the plastic reservoir.
Yeah, it's out on the
they're pressed on to the booster, so you can't actually make an actual reservoir.
Yeah.
Unless you want to upgrade to like a Bayer setup. Or,
Right.
you know, an aftermarket setup. This kind of just covers that over just to make it look better.
Right.
And then it comes with the billet cap too to get rid of the plastic cap.
Right.
So this replaces the stock plastic cap.
Nice.
And then this one is just a prototype actually. I just started working on that. I'm probably gonna have universal overflow tanks and universal catch cans.
Okay.
So that, you know, anybody who's building a hot rod
Right.
could use that, or, you know, you can pretty much use it for anything, right?
Nice.
Rather than it being specific to a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then these are
the ones.
some of the raw billet parts right off this is what they look like right off the mill.
Cool.
Yeah. So
It looks so good.
really high quality stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, and then these are the rad covers. So we do these in quite a few different options. So we got the laser engraved and the laser etched.
Right.
And then we also do different coloring.
Okay.
So different colored lettering, which they'll lay down the color of the lettering first.
Right.
And then they stencil it and then put a top coat on, peel the stencil,
Okay. Yeah.
bake it. There's a whole process, but we do them with colored lettering
Sweet.
too. Yeah. And then there's a few other ones that we do that it's like a snake head and
Oh, sweet.
yeah, some different
That's cool.
styles. Yeah.
Nice.
A few different flavors. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good looking pieces for sure.
Yeah, they dress it up a lot. Again, that's plastic from the factory, so.
So then, do you do like custom one-off pieces for people too? Like
I
they come
do,
in-
yeah. Like those mirrored tanks that I did for the New Edge Mustang, that was completely
Yeah.
custom. The guy brought me a little sketch
Yeah.
and some measurements, and
Yeah.
I drew it up on Fusion. But I've done some custom ice tanks too for guys with race cars and
Nice.
catch cans and overflow tanks, all kinds of different stuff
Sweet.
like that.
So there you go. Yeah, you guys can come down here and see him and get some stuff made up.
Yeah, I love doing custom stuff. It's fun. It challenges you, right?
Yeah. So, tell us what you got for a car here.
All right, this is a 2004 SVT Cobra, and I've had this car for 11 years now.
Yeah.
Almost 12 years. When I first bought it, it still had the factory supercharger on it, but it was ported.
Okay.
So when I bought the car, it made about 500 wheel horsepower. It was a blast at that power level, and the ported Ettons, they scream, so they're really loud. So I had a lot of fun in it when I first bought it. The car was beat up pretty bad, like the rear tires were wore out. The previous owner drag raced it a lot.
Yeah.
The tires were wore out. The clutch was slipping.
Yeah.
You know, the paint was really bad on this car too. A friend of mine painted it, Randall Dudney at Coyote Customs.
Okay.
He painted the car in 2017. Put the illuminator in it, put a new clutch in it, did a fuel system, and then I think I got 3 summers out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a lot of fun in it. Like I took it to the track, did some quarter mile racing in it, and a lot of fun on the street.
Yeah.
And like it was making 500 wheel, but the way it was set up, like I did my independent rear suspension too.
Yeah.
So these cars come with an independent rear suspension from the factory, and I did all the bushings and all the parts that you can put in the rear suspension.
Yeah.
And once I did that and put drag radials on it, it hooked so hard.
Yeah.
Like it was good on the street, and I was lining up against cars that had like 650, 700 wheel, and I was hanging with those cars, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on with this thing? People were asking me where the nitrous bottle was.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, man, there's no nitrous bottle. But yeah, it worked awesome with that setup, and I got to enjoy it after I did all that work to it.
Yeah.
I decided to get the Whipple supercharger, so it has a 3-liter Whipple on it.
Nice.
And these are the latest and greatest for the Cobras, but yeah, it's
It looks good on there.
pretty amazing supercharger. There's guys that are pushing well over 1,000 horsepower with these, so
So tell us about the exhaust too.
Okay, so the exhaust is Cook's long tube headers, and then it has a Cook's 3-inch off-road X-pipe, and then Bassani 3-inch exhaust all the way back.
Yeah.
And I recently just built some aluminum race mufflers for it. So I pulled the Bassani mufflers out and made basically just aluminum barrels. And they're on the car now. So it's crazy loud. It sounds awesome though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
fun
this,
factor went up like
it's a
30%.
Product that you're thinking about.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of interest in them, so I think
Yeah.
I might do a few runs of them and see how it goes.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, we'll do a little clip here then and get some sound on it.
Yeah, you want me to fire it up?
That's all we've got for you today, but tune in and watch the next episode of Blue Collar Garage Culture Shop. Keep cruise culture alive.